if two sides added together is too small, then it'll end up looking something like this, where they'll never meet. Like you won't be able to make a triangle, and then you'll be sad. Now, who cares if you make a triangle or not? Questions on that? It's a very simple part of the examples that we have. And then we have time. The Pythagorean inequality theorem. So we have the triangle inequality theorem. This tells us if we can make a triangle or not based on just side lengths. So this is a test. Can we make a triangle? That's what this is. Here, we're testing what type of triangle. So the Pythagorean inequality theorem. This is it's very simple. We already know the first part. If you have a squared plus b squared and it equals c squared, what kind of triangle would this be? What kind of triangle is this for?
Right triangle.
It's for right triangles only. That's something that we should have written down. Only works for right triangles. So this will be right triangle. So if you pick an A and a B and a C, and you square the A and B and add them together, and you get C squared, exactly equal, then you know you're dealing with a right triangle, even without looking at a picture of it. If you have A squared plus B squared, and it's less than C squared, you're not going to have a right triangle anymore. And I'm going to show you like this. Yeah, you don't have to write this down because this is just a little side note. So if I have a right triangle, could be something like that. If I had C squared, if C is bigger than these squares here added together, then that's kind of like this distance would be longer, right? But if I kept that distance the same and kind of, well, I messed it up. But if I extended C, where C is bigger, so that C squared is bigger than this stuff, what kind of triangle does this look like? Obtuse triangle. So this would be obtuse. So when C squared is bigger than the other stuff, then you get an obtuse triangle. And then the last one, I think you could guess. When C squared, if you're reading it from like backwards, if C squared is smaller than the other stuff added together, you get an acute triangle. I think we can at least write down the example for this. I'm going to try and keep that up. But actually, so this tests for type of triangle, either right triangle, obtuse triangle, or acute triangle. And then the maybe only example for today. We'll see. The rest I'll do like when we get the assignment. Tell if the lengths will work as a triangle. Tell if the lengths will work as a triangle. If so, classify the triangle. and that just means, is it a right triangle, obtuse triangle, or acute triangle? Oops. And I'm going to have some lengths 8, 11, and 13. Yeah, we'll get done with this, and then we'll go to lunch. And then we can work on some problems together. Is anyone still copying this down? Yes? Just log out and then you can close it. Okay, so first we're given some lengths of possible sides of a triangle. Remember, this tests if we can actually make a triangle, so we'll use this. And then this tells us which type of triangle it is. So we're going to use both of these. One thing to note, I have to pick A, B, and C for these. Do you guys know which one C is? Yeah, it's got to be the 13. C is always the longest side. So C is always the longest side. So then I'm just going to say this is A, this is B, and that's C. And then I'll just check on my calculator, just adding stuff together. I have to make sure that each of these, when I add up two of them, it's bigger than the third. So 8 plus 11 gives me, can you see that? No. 8 plus 11 gives me 19. That's definitely bigger than the third one. So that works. 8 plus 13 gives me 21. That's definitely bigger than 11. And then 11 plus 13, that's obviously going to be bigger than 8 because 11 is already bigger than 8. So this can make a triangle. So yes, it is a triangle. Now we need to see what type of triangle. So yes, it is a triangle, and all I'm going to do is see which one of these I have. I'm going to figure out a squared plus b squared, and I'm going to compare it to c squared. So I'll take a squared plus b squared over here. That would be 64 plus 11 squared is 121. And what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 185. And then I want to see what c squared is. 13 times 13 is 169, I think. Yeah. And what do I have? This is smaller. C squared is smaller. That means we have an acute triangle. Do we understand that? Like we got this statement. So yes, it is a triangle, and it's acute. That's all for that.
How did you get the numbers?
This was part of the problem. The 8, 11, and 13 were given. And I just chose my A and B. I could have switched those around. Doesn't matter. But my C is always the longest side. And then I added these together. 8 and 11, that was 19. That's bigger than this. 8 and 13, that was bigger than 11. 11 and 13 is bigger than 8. So then I know I can make a triangle, and then I saw what type. Any questions on that?